Consent agenda. This is the extension of the tolling agreement with REG Architects and the Morganti Group. Vice Mayor, you pulled this off the agenda. Did you want to lead us in discussion?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to make the public aware that the issue, the construction and deficiencies, whatever you want to call it, at the casino building remain, and that this item asks the city to extend the tolling agreement to, I'd say, 4 months, or is it an additional 4 months? It preserves the city's right to sue. I guess the statute of limitations is such that we've gone past the statute of limitations, so we're just extending our opportunity, preserving our rights, if you will, to sue if necessary. It's my understanding that, as you all recall, back in November, we had a workshop that we were given presentations by the architect and or the contractor that they tried to show and tell type of thing on how they were going to work around the catwalk around the outside of the building, the deficiencies and the drainage of the water. What wasn't really discussed at length was the condition of the ballroom floor itself, the wood ballroom floor. So this tolling agreement gives them an opportunity to get in there, gives our engineering experts an opportunity to get into the ballroom, I guess to take a section or so out of the floor to see what damage, if any, may exist under the floor, and if there is damage, what remedies are necessary to make the floor whole. So is that pretty much?
That's correct.
Right. Hit that one pretty much.
Does it?
And I just, and again, I not only do I want to offer the explanation so everybody knows what's going on, but I also want to share my continued contempt for the ridiculous amount of time that has taken these paid professionals, these skilled people within their industries. I really think we're being jerked around at the end of the day on this project. I think we're an afterthought. They've already got most of their money, and we're simply an afterthought. And I think, you know, I don't know that we're going to go much more than this 4 months. We said that. I said that before. They were supposed to have this wrapped up in October. Here we are in January, and we're looking at for another 4 months. So, as far as I'm concerned, I will not vote for any more tolling agreements going forward.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Question for you, City Manager. They gave a very extensive view of the processes that they were going to take in reference to the tiling. I mean, we went through the whole thing and examined it and saw it and added 2 levels to the normal type of, you know, environment that they were doing. Have they done any of this patching yet? Or to try to test it out?
Well, as I understand it, coming out of an agreement that we would end up working between the attorneys to incorporate and memorialize all those activities, including what you just said, was what was occurring after the workshop. So it was more legal maneuvering than they were actually doing the work, because we needed to have an agreement in place to do
Gotcha.
that. So
That's
while
what
that's
it was.
going
Okay.
forward, the issue of the ballroom floor was something that we were working on as well. So
Go back to the minutes from when that first thing went, when that building first went up. That was one of, remember we had the flooding, that is, when it first opened up? It was in that ballroom? That was the very beginning.
But unlike the issues that we were grappling with on the construction remedies, techniques that are much more involved to solve the balcony and the other things, the ballroom floor is pretty straightforward. It's a ballroom floor that was built correctly. It's that the damage and the issues that were related. I don't want to get too far afield. So
Yes, stop us,
it was
Christie, please, if you're
yeah.
going beyond.
She's about to tell me to stop.
Okay, I want to leave it just for the legalese of this, Commissioner Emerson.
Real quick, so our direction was, you know, to look at doing something in April because there were weddings, there were other things, so after season. Are we on schedule for that? Will
Yeah,
we be good with the
I think
legal
we'll be
piece of
on
it?
schedule for that. Really, the only outstanding issue is the ballroom floor.
Okay.
We have a draft settlement agreement, and once we get into that floor and know more about the floor and can address that in a settlement, we should be bringing it back to you for consideration.
Okay, great. Okay. I think we have-
Commissioner McBoyd?
And I share Commissioner Amoroso's concern about the time. Mine's slightly different. It's the one I raised at that meeting in November, is they were doing some pretty high-tech stuff with the proposed layering and flooring, and I was concerned that if they were doing that during the rainy season, doesn't seem very helpful to adhesives and things like that. Is there any way that we can move the things that are rain sensitive? The ballroom floor doesn't matter, you do that, that's inside, so do it whenever, do it in the rainy season. But if there's any way that we can not make problems worse with weather happening while they're doing it, seems like that's to our advantage.
Good.
May not be possible.
We have a motion on the floor in a second, I don't care if
I don't think we have a motion yet.
So moved.
Second. Then we're gonna go to public comment, Lynn Anderson, followed by Ellie Whitty.
Hello again, Lynn Anderson, Lake Osborne Drive. First I want to say that I really like Rick Gonzalez and Morganti. I think they're wonderful companies. However, this has been going on for too long, people. You know, and I appreciate some of the frustration, particularly from the vice mayor. The last time we had a vote, I think he voted nay against extending this tolling agreement. You know, and it was supposed, we gave them until October 5th, you know, to get this thing done. And now, what date is this today? January 24th, so they've got over 7 months here. And when you want to extend it 4 more months, that's almost a year. When is it going to end? This is a $6 million building. You know, we want some results here. So, I mean, it's got to end sometime, really. And as the mayor suggested, the companies need to make this their priority. Have they done that? Do you feel they've done that? Are we getting any kind of, you know, success over there? And we contracted in good faith with them, and they need to live up to this contract. So this is the 4th extension. And realizing that you don't want to incur legal fees, I can understand that. But you refuse to drop out of the lawsuit against the residents on the charter amendment that they won at the polls. So you'd rather just give these people another extension for 4 more months. Doesn't make too much sense to me. I think it's time to start getting results here. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Ellie Whitty?
Hi, Ellie Whitty, 31 South Coffee Road. I can understand the hesitation of wanting to get involved with this company legally. Magani is not a United States-owned company. They're based out of Athens. So again, they don't have to comply with our rules. I would be hesitant too. I don't believe people knew this going into this contract. Again, we learn from our mistakes. Never have a contract with a company that's not an American-owned company, because again, what can we do when they mess up? Just, they don't have to comply with our laws, as you know. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor?
I just would like to ask the city attorney to weigh in on that last comment from the public. I don't think that's an accurate statement. They will have to comply with our laws. To conduct business here in the United States, they have contracts, they're subject to our laws.
That's correct. I've never researched Morganti. At this point, Morganti has been willing to work with us and has wanted to avoid us going after their bond. So I haven't researched whether or not where they're established as a corporation, but yes, they would have to comply with our laws and requirements.
Right.
I hear the frustration both from the vice mayor and from the public, and I'm sure other people in the community. Just sort of a read from either you, city attorney, or city manager, or both. Do we feel that things are moving forward in good faith and positively at this point and is there a reasonable likelihood that we will not do another tolling extension? Because I think I would support the vice mayor that, yeah, maybe not so the next time.
Based on the direction from the workshop, I think the items that were agreed were reasonable solutions. I don't think there's any question here that they're raising on those items. Remember, I think some people think of a tolling agreement as somehow we're providing them an extension. A tolling agreement is putting off the clock so that we can preserve the city's right to sue them. It's a very different perspective. And I think people tend to think of it as, we're letting them off the hook. That's not what we're doing. We're stopping the clock that says, we need to take one more look at this ballroom floor issue, and we don't have all that data. The consultants, with the holidays and everything, they didn't get to pull up the floor like we wanted and look at it and give us a clear. The other issues that you discussed, I think we pretty well got
Fair.
agreement, and they're agreeing to do those remedies.
Good.
So we're in a
That
much
was
better
the main
place than we have been. We have made progress. We're not giving them an extension. We're preserving our rights to make sure everything's addressed. And it is maddening because it is taking a long time. So we apologize for that, but it's better to be thorough and do it right the first time and preserve our rights than to just get angry and go like a bull in a china shop and not be prepared.
And we've got a motion on the floor and a second. Any more public comment cards?
No, Madam Mayor.
Seeing there are none, all those in favor state so by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously.